It's me again. Here's Alexa. Alexa, say hi.
Hello.
So she's going to be telling us a story. If you want to get some snacks and have drinks and yeah, Alexa, tell me a story.
The hike. You've got to be kidding me, the hiker groaned. His guidebook had promised a spectacular view, but not this. He craned his neck to stare up at the sheer cliff. His eyes traced the metal rungs pounded deeply into the rock wall. A permanent ladder zigzagged its way to the top, some 200 feet up. A sense of dread and doubt overtook him. He'd never been comfortable with heights, but had already hiked over a dozen miles to get here. He thought about turning back, but it was nearing sunset, and the trail map showed the fastest way to his car was up. He grabbed the first rung. Focus, he told himself. Rung after rung, he pulled himself up the side of the mountain. Palms sweating, heart racing, self-doubt crowded his mind. Yet with each successful movement upward, his confidence grew. Rock finally gave way to open sky, and he pulled himself up onto the plateau. He turned and looked out beyond the cliff. The breeze blowing against the back of his neck cooled him, as he filled his lungs with deep, hard-earned gulps of air. With the sun disappearing into the sea and the rock wall falling away beneath him, he felt as limitless as sky.
That was the hike. I'm going to have Alexa tell you guys another story. Alexa, tell me a story.
Measure twice. The carpenter walked into his workshop. His next project was to make a jewelry box for his daughter, who had left home to pursue big ambitions in an even bigger city. He laid out the lumber, grabbed his tape measure, and began marking the wood. Measure twice, cut once, he said to himself. It was an old saying to always double-check before cutting the wood, as to not make mistakes. As he made the last measurement, the tape measure broke. He stared at the broken tape measure in disbelief, reflecting on the many things he'd made over the years, and how he missed his daughter. Just then, he heard a knock on the door. He slowly opened the door, and his eyes adjusted to the sunlight. Standing there was the mail carrier holding a small package. The carpenter took the package and carefully opened it. A rare smile appeared on his face. There, in the box, was a new tape measure and a note that read, "Measure twice, cut once. Happy Father's Day."
So yeah, tell you guys another story. Alexa, tell me a story.
Batter up. When the boy first saw the cat, he was surprised. Everyone was watching the batter, a fan favorite who had been struggling at the plate recently. The boy looked over at his dad, who had brought him to the game. At first he thought it was his imagination, or maybe his new glasses playing tricks on him. But no, there was indeed a cat behind the third baseline, a sleek gray kitty hugging the field wall and darting behind the advertisements for hot dogs and tires. Soon others saw it too. People around them were laughing and pointing. The umpire called strike two. The batter spit and hitched his pants up. In the outfield, two players had run towards the cat, who was now climbing up the front of the electronic scoreboard like a tiny King Kong. Suddenly, the cat was on the jumbotron, larger than life. Its green eyes widened as it made it to the top of the scoreboard. "Kitty Cam," said the caption on the jumbotron. The crowd went wild, cheering and chanting, "Kitty Cam, Kitty Cam." Back at the plate, the batter cocked his bat above his shoulder. The boy held his breath and reached for his father's hand. The boy heard the crack of the bat, and the ball sailed over the wall for a home run. His dad smiled and squeezed his hand. Across the ball field, the cat yawned and settled into his perch. They were all safe.
Another one. Alexa, tell me Ghost Cow.
Ghost cow. There's a hilltop on a pasture somewhere far, far away, where no one will venture to work or play. But why, you might ask, since the grass is so green, the sky so blue, the whole scene so serene? Because of a ghost cow who haunts the land. When other cows tip, she will stand. She stands in the sun and the wind and the rain, munching on grass and crunching on grain. And she waits all the while for you to walk by, to give you a scare and maybe a cry. 'Cause since Ghost Cow crossed over, she no longer says moo, but rather cries out a most frightening moo.
Alexa, missed call. Alexa, tell me a story about missed call.
Alexa original.
Alexa, missed call. Alexa, tell me a story about missed call.
Alexa original.
Alexa, missed call story.
This might answer your question. Missed Call is a 2005
Alexa?
comedy starring on...
Stop. Alexa, tell me the Dare story.
Dare, the place in Saripal,
Stop.
Afghanistan.
Alright. Alexa, missed call by Alexa. Alexa, tell me a story about missed call.
Alexa original.
Do you mind? Alexa, tell me a story.
Tango night.
Mm.
It was tango night. Our eyes met across the dance floor. He asked me to dance, and I think I said yes. The band leader gave the downbeat, and the tango began. As we started to dance, our foreheads touched. I felt a spark. It was love at first step.
Alexa, tell me a scary story.
Did you hear that? Quiet. I think I hear something. It's like a soft scratching sound. I think it's coming from one of the cupboards. There it is again. I definitely heard it that time. I'm going to check it out. You stay here. Nothing in this one. Or this one. Or, you're out of peanut butter. And I think I see the culprit. Come here, you little gremlin. I told you no eating after midnight. Get back here with that jelly.
So that was, did you hear that? Alexa, tell me a happy story.
Puppy love. It wasn't the first time she had seen him at the park. She recognized him by the way he tossed his head when he ran, his long legs that seemed to spin in slow motion, even when he was going full speed, and his unreasonable fear of water. She knew her hesitation about greeting him was unfounded. He had a boundless energy that seemed to spill over, engulfing all who met him. Finally, one day, while he was stretching near her favorite tree in the park, she worked up the nerve to approach him. Her owner, an older woman with a short blonde ponytail and a puffy green vest, ambled over to his owner, who was tying his sneaker. They watched the two smitten dogs for a moment, running frantic circles together around the park, acting as though they had known each other their whole lives. The woman smiled over at the man, who laughed and shrugged. "I guess it's puppy love," he said. They tilted their paper coffee cups towards each other amicably, the four of them a temporary family, if only for a few minutes, in the golden light of early morning.
Alexa, tell me a story.
The hike.
Alexa,
Got to be kidding.
stop. Alexa, the dream.
I don't know that.
Alexa, the dream story.
Hakeem Abdul Olajuwon, formerly known
Alexa?
as Hakeem Olajuwon.
Stop. Alexa, tell me a different story.
The visitor. It It was late at night, the middle, I think, when suddenly I jolted awake. Something big and warm curled against the outside of my tent. Was it my sister? No, she was deep asleep next to me. My parents were sleeping in their own tent across the campsite. On the other side of my tent, the thing moved again. Through the fabric, it felt warm, enormous, and furry. I remembered my dad telling a story about Bigfoot and how people hiking in the woods sometimes claimed to see him. I shivered. The thing shifted, and I thought I heard a deep sigh. I frantically tried to remember what else my dad had said about Bigfoot. Like, did he eat people? Was he friendly? My heart was thumping so hard in my chest, but at some point, I must have fallen back to sleep. The next morning, I checked the area next to the tent. Sure enough, there was an indentation in the ground, like something big had settled there. "Hey kids, come here," yelled my dad. He was pointing to the ground next to the campfire. "Looks like we had a visitor last night. A bear, I think." The print was as big as a dinner plate. I gasped. "Or maybe," my dad said, winking at me, "it was Bigfoot."
So yeah, Alexa, tell me the dream story.
Hakeem Abdul Olajuwon, formerly known as Akeem Olajuwon, is a Nigerian-American former professional basketball player.
Alexa, tell me a story.
How to make a perfect snowball. The three elements of a perfect snowball are material, size, and consistency, her brother had said, right before hitting her with a snowball and running inside. Excellent, she thought. Now I can work in peace. Her brother's advice echoed in her ears. For your material, you want soft, powdery snow, none of that gritty stuff. Make it as round and even as you can for accuracy. And don't make it too big. It should fit in the palm of your hand. Then, he lowered his voice and looked her in the eye. The secret to consistency is an outer crust. Take your snowball and coat it with a little bit of water. Once that freezes, you'll have a thin layer of ice to hold the snow together. Then, bam! You'll get a perfect explosion on contact. Pretty good advice, she thought as she walked to the door with her icy creation. She crept into the kitchen, making sure no one saw, and carefully hid the snowball behind an old bag of Brussels sprouts, where she knew it would remain untouched. Her brother was right about a lot of things, but not in this case. He had forgotten one crucial element. The element of surprise, she thought to herself. See you in July, my friend.
Alexa, tell me a story.
Measure twice.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, tell me the story of Dream.
Here's a sample of Knife of Dreams from Audible. If you
Alexa?
like what you hear, you can get the entire
Alexa?
book for free after the sample.
Alexa, no.
Knife of Dreams by Robert Jordan. This book is free. From
Alexa,
Would-
stop.
This is on.
Alexa, stop. I'm sorry, guys, about this. Oh, she's being crazy. She's crazy, I know it. Alexa, tell me the Dare story.
Dare, the place in Sari
Alexa?
Afghanistan.
Alexa, the Dare. Alexa, Dare.
Play the song Dare, right?
No. Alexa, tell me a story of the Dare.
Here's a sample of the Love Dare from Audible. If
Alexa,
you like what you
stop. Sorry, guys. Alexa, The Dream.
I don't know that one.
Alexa, tell the story of Dream.
Here's a sample of Knife of Dreams
Oh
from
my
Audible.
God. No.
If you like what you
No.
hear,
No.
you can get the
No.
entire
Heck
book
no.
for free
No.
after
No.
the sample.
This is
Alexa, stop. So, guys, that's all the stories she can play for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. like and subscribe in the comments. Tell me what I should ask Alexa next time. See you guys later. Alexa, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.